Hello! Today I'm going to run through Parkitect. What is Parkitect? Parkitect is a game like Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. If Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 was to come out today, this would probably be what it looks like. It's currently in pre-alpha 5, which means it's still very early doors, but it's looking very promising. I've been playing with it a little bit. I've got a little park set up, nothing amazing. There's limited rides at the moment, limited features, but it works. It's pretty stable, so we'll see how it goes. I'll load in my park. I've called it Awesome Park. And here we are. You can slide around the park, you can see my little people walking around. There are several rides already set up. There's a pirate ship, carousel, haunted house and enterprise. On the other side of the park, sorry I keep spinning the view around, I have a roller coaster. I think it's called a swing type roller coaster. Oh, suspension roller coaster. And a wooden roller coaster, and there's some people already on the wooden coaster going around. So as I say, this game is very much like Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, but up to date, modern graphics. You can do things like zoom in smoothly like that, zoom out, much better than Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. You can actually go all the way out here. If you press M, you get a cool overhead view of the rides in the park. The wooden roller coaster I actually built inside this building. It's really easy to do that in this game. So I'm just going to add a part to the game and just to show you, I'm going to add a roller coaster to show you what it can do. So say there are limited features at the moment. One feature I do quite like about this game is when you build a shop. Let me just do one now. Put some paths in. When you build a shop, and there's quite a few already in the pre-alpha that you can build, but I'm going to build a snow cone shop. I'm going to pop it here. The shop has no stock, and what happens is you have an extra worker type in your staff called a workman. And the workman has to deliver the goods to the shop. So down here is delivery of goods. He's taking some resources into the park, and you'll probably find he's actually delivering meat for the hot dogs, wherever the hot dog stand is. So it's something to bear in mind in this game, that you need to actually have your goods delivered to the shop. They don't just magically appear. So you need enough workmen. You also need the janitors to clean up. You need the maintenance people to do the ride maintenance. Okay, let's do a ride. And one problem I have is I'm playing this inside a window, and the game is still in sort of beta, or pre-alpha should I say. And so silly things like the windows being off the screen is only because I've been playing at a higher resolution. Fortunately enough, it hasn't caught me out yet. Let's put a freestanding ride in G-Lock. Here are all the rides, by the way, that are currently in the game. There's Carousel, Double Ferris Wheel, Enterprise, a Ferris Wheel, G-Lock, Graviton, Haunted House, Drop Tower. I could run through them all, but I'll scroll down slowly. Okay, so to build a ride, let's put a path in. There we go, that'll do. Build a ride, I will put a... I'll put a G-Lock in, I don't know what a G-Lock is. It's very much like Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. See, I can scroll out quite smoothly. I can't get rid of this window while I'm building a ride, which is a little irritating, but never mind. Entrance down, plop an exit down, build a queue line to the ride, and an exit path. There are no one-way paths currently in the game. And then click the green button to open it, and the ride's open and ready to go. There's limited features at the moment under settings for the ride. You can change its colour, the maintenance interval you can change. You can't change the waiting time. Like if I change it like so, it has a tendency not to save it, and it actually puts it into maintenance. As I say, pre-alpha, early doors. Already the little peeps are turned up in their sombrero hats to ride the ride that they bought off the souvenir. One great feature about this game is you can click on a peep, like that, click on experiences, and one of these is a heat path, I believe, that shows you where he's been. Oh yeah, here we go, look. So you can see he came in there, he went to the coffee shop, he went and sat down, he went up onto this ride. Weirdly, his final path movement up here hasn't been recorded yet, but it might be once he's hit that ride. You can actually do that with all the peeps. You can click on any peep and see what they're doing. It's nice to see like where they've gone in your park, what routes they've took, what rides they've been on. You can see what they're carrying, and their general happiness, tiredness, hunger. It's all there. All the information you'd ever want. It's the same with the rides. I'll put a roller coaster in and I'll show you. Oh, by the way, the camera is free. I can't move the camera around for some reason. Okay, anyway, let's put a roller coaster in. Again, in the pre-alpha there aren't that many coasters available. They've all got one type of car on each, but apparently they're going to add multiple cars to the coasters, different types and styles of cars. But for now, this is what you've got to work with. I've got a wooden coaster, I've got a suspension coaster, I haven't got a wild mouse, so I'll try and build a wild mouse coaster. I'm just going to build it here. So the build features are very similar to Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Station pieces there, so we'll build a bit of a station first. The 3 is the current height. The test car shows you its speed and how long it takes to ride the ride. That's really helpful for when you're building. We'll put a lift hill in. What am I doing? Let's try that again. Put a lift hill in. Okay, that's as high as I can go. One feature I like about this game is, you just saw I'd done that with 10 pieces, about 4 or 5 clicks, and I created all these columns. But with this version of the game, you can do this. You can actually go and build it like that, and so you've got only one column there and one column there, and you just built a lift hill of 5 in one hit. Let me just straighten that off. You can do the same with corners. You can build a sharp corner like which is fine for a wild mouse coaster, but if you want, you can actually build those them out. Bendiness of the corner, so you can go 3, 4, 5, 6, and just put in ridiculously long sweeping corners like this relatively easily. It's a wild mouse ride though. I'm going to turn off the chain lift and keep the corners nice and tight. So we'll do a tight corner back on itself. And then it's exactly the same as Rollercoaster Tycoon. You're practically building the ride. At the moment there aren't very many special pieces for this particular coaster type. There's an S-bend left and an S-bend right. But again, the length feature does actually work with that as well. So you can actually, if you wish to put an S-bend in right, for instance, you can make it quite a long S-bend right, or a regular one. Again, what I'm going to do a sweeping down bend here, but I don't want to do it just to one. I'm going to make it quite a... Maybe the coaster doesn't let me do that because it's not going down. Oh well, I'll make it quite a boring coaster, just so you can see it running. There are block brakes in the game. They do work like block brakes, and there's regular brakes as well. One feature I do like about this game, it's really easy to build underground. As you can see, I'm now going to go underground with this coaster if I carry on building, but I'm going to tighten the corner up and keep it above ground. There's no autocomplete currently in the game, so you have to match this piece with the station. Also, you can't build backwards from the station either yet, so that's something else to bear in mind. In Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, if I didn't match very well on the station, I might try to build backwards, but you can't really do that in this game. You can, however, edit the track any way you like. It's a bit quirky because it's in pre-alpha. I've finished building the ride. It's asking me to put an entrance in and an exit, so I'll put an entrance at the start, exit at the back of the ride. There's a test mode. If I put it in test mode, now this happens quite often in the alpha, you can't see any cars. Best thing to do is turn it off test mode and put it back in test again. It usually fixes it. Oh, there's one car on the track, I need to change that. Oh, there's two different car types for this coaster. I didn't realise they had two different car types. I'll keep with Wild Mouse. Right, I'll increase the number of trains and then I'll run a test to make sure it works. So it's testing currently. At the moment you can't adjust the waiting time from 5 seconds. For every 5 seconds one of these cars are going to go. Car go round. And we're watching the car go round, we can see the stats there. So excitement medium, intensity medium, nausea low. That's a reasonably good ride. I'm happy with that, so I'll get the queue path put in. An exit path put in. And then I'll open the ride. And already I've got someone going to go on the ride. Awesome. Other features that are in the game. There are a lot of park sceneries in the game at the moment. You can put trees down, posts, flower boxes. You can put benches in. You can't. There's no signs at the moment. Benches, trash cans, and lights pretty much seems the choice. Lights don't seem to do anything currently. They look pretty, but the guests will use the benches if they feel tired. So I'll put a few benches in on the paths. And maybe a couple of trash cans as well, in case anyone's walking around with rubbish in their pockets. Who the heck would ever want to go on that ride? It looks horrible. And I see people are going on the ride. Awesome. It has all the usual features, you know, little piles of sick when people come off a ride and they're not feeling that well. You can zone your workmen quite nicely in this game. You go to the scenery, go to the zoning, you can see I set a retail zone up and zone 2 up, and you could just draw a zone in. So for instance, if I wanted a janitor to walk around this area here, I could just drag it out like this. It's called zone 3. On zone 3 you can rename it. I'll call it the mouse zone. There we go. Then click on a member of staff. I'll hire another janitor. Click on him. Zone assignment. Mouse zone. And now he'll come and walk around this zone here. Another nice feature of this game is there's a different path type they've added. It's this one here. It's employee paths. It's paths that only the employees would use. Now, why would you want that? Well, unlike Rollercoaster Tycoon, when a trash can gets emptied, the rubbish don't disappear. It has to be taken back to the entrance to be discarded. So your employees are walking around the park via the paths that the little people are using, which is all well and good, but you can build a much more direct route just for the employees if you so wish. So for instance, I might want from this zone here to build a path to the entrance, but I don't want the employee themselves to walk in amongst all my little people there. I can do this really easily in this game. I build an employee path, I can go down into the ground. So this path is currently underground. And oh, there's a ride in the way, great. I messed that up. Okay, I forgot the fact there's the wooden roller coaster goes underground there because it rejoins inside the station here. We'll skip that idea for now. The other thing with the game is the walls are really fantastic and really easy to build. If you want to put a station around this platform, you can quite easily do that, or put a building around it. You could do that quite easily. Terraforming, again, it's super easy. If I wanted to put this section of ride underground, I could just raise up the middle of the ground here. Let me show you. Now, yes, okay, pre-alpha, that didn't appear to work. It looks like they're going into the ground and out again, but it does work. If I save it and reload it, and we go back to that section, it's now tunnelled! Though I have accidentally tunnelled into the G ride there. Whoops. I didn't want to do that either. Hang on, flatten, that's what I want. There we go, sorted it out. What other things? Oh, you can theme up the areas. Basically paint the grass different colours, like that. Like that. So you could, for instance, on this mountain here, make the top snowy. Make the next section a bit muddy to give it a sort of real mountain look to it. Like that. The game's got a lot of promise. Yeah, the rides are limited. Yeah, there are bugs in it at the moment. But it's certainly playable in its current state. Certainly had at least 2 to 3 hours entertainment out of it, building little parks, scenery down and stuff. And the developers keep updating their website. I shall post a link to it somehow later. It's basically Rollercoaster Tycoon, how it would be nowadays if it was rewritten today. People enjoy my little mouse roller coaster I put in. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching. Parkitect is currently in alpha. You can certainly pay and download and be part of the game. It costs $15, which is approximately £11. There's plenty of content there currently, but obviously as the game progresses there's going to be more and more content in the game. At the moment there is only sandbox mode. All you can do really is build. There's no money limits. As you can see, I'm minus 37,000 in the red. It means nothing. You can set prices for things. You can send the guests home. There's balance sheets you can look at. There's pretty grass you can look at if that's the sort of thing you're into. There's a reasonable selection of rides, reasonable selection of different buildings, scenery objects. I must say building buildings is really easy in this game. Probably easier than Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. And various path objects you can put down for little guests to use. Thanks for watching.